It's not woodshop season, but from time to time I have to stop by in the woodshop and put something together, and today is no exception. In speaking with those who mentor me on my queen rearing, I voiced my concern about my lack of mating nukes and plethora of queens that are going to be emerging soon. So it was suggested to me that I put them in JZBZ cages and bank them in a queen right bank over queen excluder. So I stopped in the wood shop to build myself a little jig, a little fixture to help me do that in a controlled fashion. One of the requirements is, because I'm using a candy cage, is it has to go into something that's going to close the end of the candy cage. It can't be accessible to the bees, of course. You don't want them to release her. So I'll turn this around and show you what I made. This is what I've come up with. Just pulled some scraps out of the wood shop, kind of an old frame that I had repaired, and drilled some holes. And I spaced this. I found that there wasn't a plethora of space. I couldn't make these too shallow because I can't cut into the end of the hole. It has to have a closed bottom. And I just cut those just by feel on the table saw. They're not all the same depth, and I don't know what depth they are. So I didn't want to cut much off. I did cut some off of here. That's 1.25 inches now. I found that that was enough to slide this in. There's 2 11/16 spacing between those two. I made this holes far enough apart that I could put the cages in this way. I don't know if I'll have to do that. They might be able to go in angle ways or what. But I can now put my queens in here to bank until perhaps I have mating nukes available, because my first queens are just starting to lay now, so I should be able to free up some mating nukes over the next number of days. Hopefully that'll help me take advantage of all these queens that I have cooking. Probably got 50 or 60 between the incubator and the cell builder. The incubator's supposed to start popping today. It might be tomorrow. I find that my emergence day is kind of moving back from when I expect, and I think that's because I'm choosing younger larvae. Choose a larva that's a number of hours or even a day younger, then it's going to push that emergence date back, which is a good thing. You know, you want to choose the youngest you can. Okay, lots of other things to do today, and I'll try to catch up on what's going on, but I'm kind of frantic around here. So thanks for watching. I just dropped out to the apiary for some stuff, and I'll show you, because this is the scene that you're probably most familiar with. Look at the smoke. Today is a fairly strong north wind. It's not a cold wind, but it's definitely not hot like it would be from the south. But it's bringing the smoke from the northern fires down here. And boy, this is going to do nothing good for my queens trying to mate. I could really smell it. It's very strong. But I don't want to complain, because it's not threatening my home or homes of the people I know in my area for sure. So there's still a lot of people evacuated out of their towns and homes up north, and they're just starting to allow people back in these days. So I really wish them all the best. But still, this is not going to do my queens any good. What am I going to do? I've been doing a lot of odd jobs this week, and again, stuff that really isn't very interesting. However, I was in the store on Sunday, in the hardware store. I love my hardware store. It's just a big toy store, really. And I purchased something that I've been kind of wanting to buy for a while, because I've had some challenges in this regard recently, and I absolutely have fallen in love with the product I bought. And so I want to show you some of the difficulties I've been having with similar products, and how this new product has really fit the bill. So this is the kind of product that I've been talking about, not the propane tank so much as the torch. And this one works okay, but it's a good old school torch, adjustable flame. You gotta light it with a match or a striker. They work fine. I find that this one in particular is very difficult to light. It'll light the flame, but it won't hold the flame, and so it's hard to get along that way. I do have another one that I've had for longer. It's pretty good, but it's the same thing. It's just a manual lighting unit. And I've seen people use these online and whatnot, so I thought, oh, I'm going to buy myself one of these. You can see that the fact that it's got beeswax and stuff all over it. I have used it quite a bit. But also, this is what I did with it. I would use it for lighting my smoker, and I stick it down in the smoker and I melted the handle. So part of the reason this one failed is likely my fault. So what this is you turn the gas on, and then it's a little piezoelectric striker in there that makes the fire go, and it just guts. It doesn't work at all. So that you can light it with a match. So on Sunday, I blew the budget, and I bought this bad boy. Is this ever a boy, oh boy. And this is one of those examples where when you spend more money on something, you don't always get a better product, but when you spend less money on something, you almost always get an inferior product. So you can see the difference here. This is quite an inferior product, really. So let me show you the features that this thing has. Okay, so it's got this knob. This is actually the trigger. And so I can turn it like that. You can see the lock. So now the trigger is locked. It can't be inadvertently pressed. There was two models identical. TS8000. It's a Bernzomatic TS8000. There was a TS4000. Didn't have the adjustable flame. And it's weird how much more money I had to pay to get that feature. But also, when you unlock it and when you pull the trigger, you can press this button here, and that holds the trigger in, just like a power tool would have a trigger lock. Otherwise, this thing is very much, just a trigger usage thing. And so I'll turn it on here. It really has a very substantial flame to it. So just like that. And then if I want to lock that trigger, right? And I've been using that in the last few days, and I'm absolutely in love with that. Now, what you can't see is the weight of the thing. The entire body is I'm going to say cast iron. It's not cast aluminum, I know that. And it's heavy. When you take this off the cylinder, that's a heavy, heavy piece. So this looks very Star Wars-ish to me. But I don't know exactly. That's probably the igniter, I guess. I don't know. But so I can do that, and then I can bring that flame rate down, almost nothing. Full on, this thing goes through a lot of propane. Then that was a lot of dough. Boy, that was a lot of money. I don't know if it's really worth as much money as I paid, but like they say, cry once, right? You cry once when you pay it, and you smile every time you use it. So I just thought I would share that with you, because if you're considering such a product, just might help you make your decision. I think this style is, I don't know, $20, $30, $40. This is, it was $90 for this thing. So that's what you pay to play. But you know what? You buy 2 or 3 of these, and you got one. Now, how long is that going to last? I would assume it's going to last a long time, but you never know. So that's the new torch that I really enjoy using. So what do I use a torch for? How does this relate to beekeeping? It's so versatile. There's so many things I can do with that. But you know, the problem is when you have a hammer in your hand, everything looks like a nail. So you have a torch in your hand, everything looks like it should be set on fire. In the wood shop, I have my little brand that I use, just a little handheld brand, and that gets heated by a torch. So that's going to be useful there. And bee yard, you can light your smoker with a torch. I light my smoker with a match, but the torch definitely gets the job done a lot faster. A lot more money too. You buy a box of matches, you start your smoker a lot of times, but then you got to have newspaper and whatnot. So also in the bee yard, a lot of people clean their queen excluders with a torch. I choose not to. I put those in my melter, actually, either in my solar wax melter, which does a great job, or I put them in my big wax melter in the honey house. So that does a great job. A little tip, I use washing soda to wash a lot of things. Don't wash your queen excluders with washing soda. It'll eat the galvanizing right off of them. So don't do that. Ask me how I know. I kind of ruin a lot of queen excluders. Torching equipment, you know, you can sanitize equipment by running a torch over it, get the boxes nice and hot, and lids and pallets and stuff like that. So there's just a myriad of uses for that torch. And with this one, you know, I said, well, that's a lot of money. There is some economy here because you can use it and then, you know, and then, you know, it doesn't have to sit there running the whole time. So it's kind of a safety thing. If your torch is running, you set it down, maybe it's going to fall over, especially these wobbly bottles. There we go. With this trigger thing, you can just start it up and use it for a few seconds and shut it down. So yeah, I'm in love now. I've always struggled with torch. I've always hated the torches I've had. They're just finicky, and especially this cheap piezo one didn't work. So if you're looking for a good torch, there's probably a lot of different brands. Burns-O-Matic, I mean, Burns-O-Matic sells different kinds of gas, you know, propane, acetylene, oxygen, stuff like that. And then that's Burns-O-Matic brand. So anyway, just sharing things that I discover that might help you out. Thanks for watching. Came out to my Outyard. I forgot my camera and microphone and tripod, so I did just a few little things here, and I didn't film any of it because, like I say, I didn't have a tripod, and I don't like the waving a hand around kind of videography that sometimes you see. It sort of makes me nauseous when I watch that stuff. So I didn't want to harm anybody. So here's a few things that happened here. I'll turn the camera around. I'll show you what's going on. Okay, we'll start over here. So the hives that I've had my share of troubles in this yard. The hives have CB. Those are the original, those are Buckfast, Italian Buckfast packages that I bought. And FA is Faith Apiaries. That's my queen. I just requeened these that say FA. I think I did, what did I do, 6 of them? And so they've got a caged queen now with a candy plug. So I'll come back, I think I'll come, what is it, Wednesday? I'm going to come back on Friday and see that they're out. And this one, so the ones that have CB, they're doing okay, but you know, they're just single still CB. So this is another FA. It was, this queen was present and laying, but she was laying quite a few drones. So I got rid of her and put one of my brand new mated queens in here, plus a honey super, because they're good population and they're doing a good job. So now these that say Ray. I realize it's upside down to you. That's Oliveira's queen. So these are the units that I had trouble with the first time. If you remember, I installed these packages, and then we had wildfires, and I wasn't able to come back and check on the queens early enough. Some of the queens died in the cages because they couldn't get out. So that one's doing okay. That's another Italian buckfast. Here's an Italian buckfast, and they're doing fine. They got a honey super today. So there's a requeen. This one I think had disappeared altogether. And what I had done is I actually split these. I got a couple of pro nukes and I went throughout this little apiary and I gathered 10 frames of bees and brood. Took them home 2 days ago, brought them back this morning. And so this basically is a brand new hive. It's got a caged mated queen with a candy plug. Here we go. I'm waiting for my smoker to go out so I can go home. Smoker goes out pretty easily until you're waiting on it. This is a big smoker I got from Beewares. It's a pretty good smoker. I haven't had any trouble. And it's got the coveted spark arrestor. If you have trouble with the fuel falling out of the top of your smoker, I don't have that trouble, but if you do, then that'd be a good smoker for you. So again, these Italian buckfast, these are doing fine. They got honey supers as well as that one. This one, same thing. It was the package didn't work out, and I think I requeened it too, and it didn't work out. So hopefully, three times a charm. This is another brand new one. There was really nothing here, so I put a couple frames of bees and brood and a new mated queen. This one, I think this one was queenless and got a new mated queen. Of course, this is the Italian buckfast. They're good. This one, that's one of the first ones I requeened with the Oliveira's queen, so they're doing good. And this one also was requeened today, so she's got a mated queen in a cage. Here's an interesting one. I've had 2 of these Italian buckfast queens laying drones. Now, I don't know what the correct term for this is. You see, I wrote drones here. I've tried to scrape it off, but I don't know what the correct term is. But she was laying drones and workers, so that means there's something wrong with her. That's what that one over there was, right over there. She was laying drones and workers. She was doing a good job, but she was not, she was shooting blanks some of the time. So the thing is, I marked this one with drones, meaning she was laying drones and workers. And I didn't address it right away. When it came back, she kind of had figured that out. So she mended her ways and saved her life. So that's still an Italian buckfast, and she got a honey super, so she can't be doing it all wrong, right? Anyway, that is the little apiary. It's a lovely little apiary. It's nicely sheltered here, in a little old yard site, and it's well drained. It doesn't get super windy. Yeah, I love coming to this yard. I come to this yard a lot. It seems it's a bit of a drive. It's 11 miles from my place. At least 11 miles, maybe 12 or 13 by the time you drive by the roads, because it's a long ways west of my house as well as south. But anyway, this is a lovely little yard, and I hope beyond hope that I have figured out the problems in this yard, and these mated queens are going to make me proud, and this yard will turn out to be something nice. This is my clean yard. I don't know if it's clean yard is the right term, but this is the yard I brought in all packages and put them on fresh, clean honeycomb that was drawn last year. I even put brand new queen excluders on here. I happened to have some and I brought them over. So the only thing that was used was pallets, lids, foamies, and boxes. But you know, I don't think I flamed the boxes or anything. I wasn't worried about disease in this yard. I was just worried about, you know, whatever. I didn't know what to be worried about. I just wanted to start fresh because I've been having some troubles the last few years. So I just wanted to start fresh over here. So they're filling these brood boxes full of honey, which is likely what they'll winter on. So hopefully they do okay on it, because I didn't want to introduce a lot of extra feed into this yard. All they got was they got a pound of fondant when I put them in here, and that's all they've had. One thing about this yard is it's kind of sheltered and it gets into the shade a bit. And you know what happens when your bees are in the shade? They're a little bit pissy. So I took a few stings today. I usually don't even have to start the smoker, but you know, the gloves came off. Well, I don't wear gloves, but they started getting a little pissy. So I started up the smoker and gave them something to think about. So I got stung, I don't know, I maybe got stung 6 or 8 times. It's not the end of the world. All right, we're gonna head on home and see what more we can get into there. Thanks for watching. I'm out in the apiary again today, and really the only thing I need to do today in the apiary is I need to address my cell builder. Now, it's always a bit of a sad point in the summer is this is the last round of cells that I'll be building for the season. We'll pick it up again next year, and brings to a close my favorite part of beekeeping is raising queens. But there's a lot to do yet, because as you know, there's a whole whack of mating nukes over here, and I'm starting to harvest those mated queens. I'm starting to requeen some colonies, starting to fix some problems and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is my incubator is in the house. It's about 100 yards away, and I have this I have this little case. This was a suggestion by a friend who does queens. It's a little case that I guess you might put essential oils vials in or something. You can just find that on Amazon, a few bucks, and it's just a foam insert here. No great rocket science to it, but that's just the perfect size to put the cells in. I just put all my little cups in there with the cells, and then I can carry them to the house, close them up, carry them nice and carefully over and put them in the incubator. So I'll open this up and you can see what the take was on the last graft and the last graft, and then we'll take them to the incubator in the house. What's going to happen with this? Well, tomorrow then, since it'll be an empty, queenless, very strong, populous hive, I'm going to split that up into a number of different nukes. I'll again put those in my building for 2 nights, and then I'll bring them back here and place them in the apiary, and put the resulting virgin queens in there when they emerge. So all this is not going to waste at all. It's definitely going to be used very well. So let's get into this thing. The feed jar has been empty for a long time. There's no reason to refill it. The bees have plenty of stored syrup in the hive. There's a beautiful sunny day, but when I brought this out, then the clouds came up and covered the sun. I like this to sit in the sun and warm up for the cells. I think the temperature out here was reading at 27 C. So again, not as hot as a lot of places, but it's pretty warm for my part of the world. It's not what we would call an excruciatingly hot day, But very nice warm day. Gets a bit warmer. That sun comes out like it is now. Okay. There's sure a lot of bees in here. I hope they do really well when I give them a virgin queen. I did it last year. I split this up into 3 nukes and gave them each a cell, and I think only one of them ended up working out. It's too bad I can't do more cells. This builder is really powerful. So there's not a huge number of cells here, but I'll take them. Now this one I'm going to make a prediction that this one is dead, and that's because of the amount of royal jelly that's in the cup here. If they die as a larva, then they of course don't finish their dinner. Sometimes I hear people talk about the comb that the bees build on the cells, and it's a little bit annoying, but I don't find it to be a huge problem because the cell is actually fairly tough. You know, it's fragile, but it's tougher than the comb. They're nice looking cells. I don't know if they're the nicest cells in the world, but they're definitely respectable. See, this has got some comb on it, and I can pick away at this, and this is a problem because this cell is open. The cell is open, but there's a whole bunch of royal jelly in it, so I'm assuming, because that cell is open and these cells are not torn down, that was not a virgin emerging from that cell. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. It looked like possibly a normal emergence. Either she emerged a minute before I opened this, or it's something else. The wax is not bright white, so that suggests to me that they're recycling some of this wax. It's not newly produced wax. Suggests the bees are maybe getting older. It could suggest lack of a flow, but they've been fed the whole time, so I don't think that's the explanation. I think the bees are older. Some of these cups sure have a lot of jelly still in them. I hope the queens are okay. Because some of these are empty. Which is mostly, when my queen emerges, most of the time the jelly is gone. I desperately want to get into that easy peasy system. That would save me a lot of work. Save me doing this. I can bank these cells, and I can let them emerge. I can wait a day or two after the emergence date, and then go and use my queens. This one kind of is just a nib. Not sure what that is. I'm going to set that there. I know the bees will clear off of there in a little while. I have to leave this here till tomorrow. So I'm going to put an extra frame in it. Got a frame here that I reserved for this. Okay, so that's a placeholder so that I don't get too crazy with the comb building. We're just on the cusp of honey flow. Is the 26th of June. Look at the bees on there. Okay, so that's my haul for today. Put the feed hole plug in. And then walk these incubator. What do we got? 5, 10, 15, 18 cells here. That's a nice little haul. Okay, fistful of queens and I'm going for a walk. So that's it for that for now. And tomorrow we'll make a bunch of mating nukes out of that. Thanks for watching. As promised, I'm back here at the cell builder and I'm going to break it up for the season and make some nukes out of it. My last round of cells is supposed to emerge on Sunday, so today's Friday, and that'll be just perfect because I can take these into the building today and bring them out Sunday morning and then populate them with virgin queens. So yeah, without further ado, we're just gonna pull these frames. There's lots and lots of bees. It's right full of syrup. So I've got my nuke boxes handy, and syrup will, sustain them for an indefinite amount of time for sure. I'm sorry, I'm probably not making much sense. I'm really, really tired right now, and I'm just gonna get at this and we'll see where it takes us. You may know that sometimes a queenless colony can have a bit of an attitude. This one has actually been really good, and I suspect it might have something to do with the presence of the queen cells. They're full of optimism that they may have a queen on the way, but somebody keeps taking them away. Now, this frame is that heavy frame of feed that I had put in, covered in bees, of course, and I'm confident there's no queen, and I'm confident there's no brood. So that's one step I won't need to do. I won't need to do any rogue cell checks on Sunday, because these are just syrup. Some of it's capped, most of it's open. So that's all that's going on in here. I might make 10 nukes out of this, because every one of these frames has got more than enough bees. I haven't filled that frame full of syrup yet. They've still got enough bees for sure. Need some more boxes. Here's a quick review of these entrance discs. When I first started doing these kind of things, I invested in some of the nice stainless steel discs. They were about $5 a piece or something. And I now use the small, cheap plastic ones. And I prefer the plastic ones 100 times over these metal ones. Particularly because the plastic ones, I can go up to this box and turn the disc anytime I want. These get stuck, and I have to free them up and then turn them. Now that'll outlast the plastic one, but for $5 I can replace that plastic one probably, I don't know, 20 times or something. There's a big price difference, so I really prefer the plastic entrance discs over these, and what would appear to be higher quality metal ones, which, you know, they are higher quality. I have to source some frames and fill these boxes yet. Just put a, you know, ideally there's 4 frames, so this is one. I'll get a frame or 2 of feed because I've got lots of those. Well, these are feed as well. I'll get a frame or 2 of open comb because when the queen mates, she'll need somewhere to show off her talents. Yeah, this is gonna make lots of nukes. Wow. Wow, is there ever a lot of bees on these frames? Tons and tons. And yeah, I'm just putting 1 frame in there right now. I have to go and get some more frames. I'll leave one of them here. I'll maybe make it a little bit weaker because there's going to be a lot of flyback. I'm going to take a chance on making 11 because there's quite a few bees here and there's a lot out yet. So I'm going to get some frames and I'll set the 11th one right here. It should fill up with bees. Okay, I don't want to squash too many bees here. Okay, now theoretically that'll fill up with bees. But you know what they say? In theory, there's no difference between theory and practice. In practice, there is. So we'll see what happens. Now I just have to fill these boxes. Kind of backwards. Make the nuke and then fill it with frames. That's just the way I roll sometimes. Yeah, I really hate those metal ones. I really do. I'll just set them on this pallet and then I can pick them up with the tractor. Yeah, there's a lot of bees in these. There's a lot more bees than a lot of the other nukes have. I think they're figuring it out. Figuring it out and coming around to my way of thinking. Okay, now this box, you may recall my other boxes that have the plastic entrances. They've got a completely screened bottom, and that can be a problem in a situation like this because the bees, they can want to get through the screen instead of actually coming through the door. These boxes have a solid bottom, and they have a screened, they have screened holes around here. That can still cause a little bit of confusion, but the bees will figure it out. Figure out which way the door is. Open that right up for them. And that's it. So I'll go get the tractor and move this into the building. There's 10 here and 11th here. So that'll be really nice to have 11 more mating nukes. I'm kind of sad that queen rearing season is over, and that's, you know, kind of the result, but it's a good use of that resource. So, you know, I think that's another example of how we think, well, raising queens takes a lot of resources from my apiary. Well, I'm getting all that back. I'm at 11 mating nukes out of this, and not weak ones either. They're pretty nice. There's some bees here, don't have a home. That wraps up this week's video. I appreciate you watching. And like I say, the last round of queens will come out into these mating nukes on Sunday or Monday. Usually they start a day before, but I've noticed that I think I'm getting more consistent with the age of larvae that I'm grafting, which is good. That's what you want. So they're starting to tighten up the window that they emerge in. And I can't remember, what did I say was in there? There's 18. There's 18. So this will go a long way to housing those 18. Yeah. Okay, I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And have a great weekend. Take care and have fun.